So my family's from the area. My kids are actually sixth generation to the county. So there's a long history, obviously, of being around. And my grandparents were here and owned a business in Rochelle, and I worked with them for a short time, and then I guess I shouldn't say short time, 18 years, and then I got into law enforcement after that. You know, it was something that I was always interested in, the ability to serve the community and give back to a community that, you know, has been such an integral part of what we were doing as a family. So I actually applied for a position at a PD in one of the northern suburbs of Rockford and was hired up there. Shortly thereafter, I was actually down at the academy, and the chief from the town where I grew up called and said they were testing and wanted to know what date I had open, and they were going to schedule their test around what dates I could work, because he really did the same thing when he started. He went to a different agency and then ended up coming back home essentially and working in his hometown, and that wasn't something that I was really interested in. I didn't want to have to deal with the people that I knew, but at the end of the day, that's what I enjoyed the most, was working with the people that I knew, because what I found was the people that I knew were the ones we were helping. It wasn't the ones that we were arresting. So that had a lot to do with you know, his influence and being able to come back to the community that I was raised in and give back to them. I tell you, the funnest thing that I've done is reading Dr. Seuss to kindergarten class. So I think that's fun, you know, being able to interact with the community. So that to me is really important, and I think that that's a big part of what we do as sheriffs, as an elected officials, being able to interact and be that face and be that representative. So you know, I go back to all of those things that we do with the community, whether it's the county fair or National Night Out or reading Dr. Seuss. I think those are by far the best days. I took office December of 2014, and in 2015 we had a EF5 tornado come through the county. It actually started in Lee County and finished in DeKalb County. It completely transected our county, and we drew the lucky straw, and our house was one of them that was destroyed. So my sister-in-law's house was destroyed. My wife's cousin's house was destroyed as well. So a little bit emotional still, just because we lost a lot. It impacted the kids pretty significantly, because they were younger at the time. The nieces were younger at the time. So, but everything was gone. Everything was gone. That was the fortunate part. The dog survived, and so there wasn't much to do except go to work. So, you know, we put our boots on and went to work, and we finished up here in the county and were able to go help DeKalb, and so that's just what we do. The one thing that I think is difficult for a lot of residents to understand, though, is we don't do things like they do on TV. It doesn't happen in 45 minutes. It's not done and complete in 45 minutes. And so I see that frustration when we deal with them, whether it's, you know, trying to recover, you know, the body of a family member. That takes a really, really long time, because that's not what their expectations are. So again, I think for us, that's probably the biggest challenge, is trying to explain to them how we do it, why we do it, and it's going to take time, and it doesn't happen, you know, in the sequence of a show. So again, we're very fortunate here to have that backing from the community, and so that does play into the ability to share those expectations with them, and they trust us and they understand what we're doing is the best. County's probably a good example. We're 758 square miles. We've got a river that runs right through the middle of the county. We've got two bridges that go across that river. So if you're going to go east to west, you've got to drive out of your way typically to get across the river. But I run 3 deputies, 55,000 people, 3 deputies, 758 square miles. So yes, the response time is fairly significant. It's not like a PD where you're a few blocks away, but also there's no backup. You're out there by yourself on a country road with no street lights. And so those are things that a lot of people don't understand. And it's just different to be a sheriff's deputy, and it takes the right person to do it. And so I think that's one thing that the public may realize, but they don't understand the implications. I think the biggest thing that law enforcement appreciates is just that acknowledgement, that thank you. We appreciate what you do for us, because so many times it goes unsaid. Again, we live in this small rural community where we know everybody, but it certainly doesn't hurt to tell people that you appreciate them, whether it's the deputy or the lady at the cashier at the grocery store or whatever it might be. That little bit of going out of your way to tell them you appreciate them, I think goes a long way, and it certainly goes a long way in law enforcement. I still go out and work the road and make traffic stops and do all that stuff, and so again, I do love the job. At the end of the day, that's what keeps me coming back, is just that overarching idea of what we do.